Action.
Hello everybody. Today I'm very pleased to introduce you the prototype of a case that I'm building with a friend in Bangkok and that I will use for the following years. So my name is Vincent Pardieu, and for the past 20 years I'm a field gemologist. I used to travel to visit gemstone mining area around the world to collect some samples, to bring them back in the lab and do some research. So I have been able and privileged to witness the trade for 20 years and to learn a lot from all the different professional buyers going to a remote place to buy rough and to buy gemstone. So this is not a portal lab, this is not a mobile laboratory with a microscope, a refractometer, which are very useful instruments when you want to check a faceted gemstone, but this is something that I wanted to have in order to check rough gemstone. So this is not something that I will take everywhere with me when I will have to walk for 1 or 2 days to go in a remote mining area, but this is something that I will use when I will go to a gem market like Ratnapura, Mogok, Ilakak, Arusha, or in the evening in my hotel in order to check my purchase, to look at some parcel and to do my admin and get the stone, for example, ready for export. So this is something quite handy and something quite strong because it needs to go around for many years with me. So we decided to have a case about this size, and you will see why in a few minutes we decided to have this size and also that big. So it's a kind of a strong case. We decided to have something that will handle travel well. It's made of wood, so it's strong and light, covered with a simili leather, and you can see on the top you have the two logos from Gemax, which is a brand of instrument from Sachi Gems in Bangkok, which is my partner for building this case. And you have also my logo, Field Gemology by Vincent Pardieu, which is the logo of my YouTube channel, where you can see also video of the field expedition I'm doing. So, case is quite big, strong. We decided to add some locks for security because you are in the office of a buyer and you have your instrument, you want to go to toilet, but you don't want somebody to come and to borrow your tweezers without you to notice that. So there are these locks, so you can close your case and you can go out for maybe a few minutes, and then you are sure that all your instrument, all your belongings are safe inside. So let's go to have a look about what we have inside this case. So the first thing you can see with the case is that you have some foam inside. The great thing about the foam, it's about two things. Number one, I really don't like to have my instrument banging to each other and getting destroyed after a few trips. I already had that several times and I really hate that. So we put the foam in order to make sure that everything will stay in place and the instrument will not knock each other. Second good thing about the foam is that this is very convenient to know if you have anything missing. Before to go on an expedition, I want to be sure that I have all my instruments. If everything is in a mess in a bag, I never know if there is anything missing. With that, if there is any empty space, I know that something is missing. So it really enabled me to prepare more easily my expedition. So first thing we have is here we have some space for document, plastic bags. We have here a chart about specific gravity and gem clothes, things that are very handy to use with your sample. Then we have this plateau here where you can see quite a lot of things that I will come to describe just after. But then when I remove the plateau, I put it on the side, you can see that I have a kind of a big instrument. And this is the reason why the case has this size, is because I wanted to have in my case a light pad. So this is a light pad I can take out from the case and put near me. And then under that there is another area with instrument. So the great thing about the light pad, it's very simple. With the light pad I have a place to work that is convenient. I will be able to put my stone on the light pad easily. I have to be able to plug it. What is going on here? Wrong side, of course. Okay, that's good. Plug it. You need to have some electricity, maybe a power bank is enough. Then with the light pad, I have a place that is white on which that is big enough for me to put a parcel of stone and start to work on it. The great thing with the light pad, white background, you have a scale, so you know when you take photo, you know the size of the stone, and you have also backlight. Backlight is great because if you want to check the transparency of a stone, if you want to check the color zoning, you are able to see with the light from under, and when you spread your stone, you can grade your stone by color, by clarity, by transparency, very conveniently. So this is really a great instrument that I like to use every day, and especially in a mine like that in Greenland where I have to grade the production. So the light pad is really an innovation that I've seen, coming in the trade more and more during the past 20 years that I really appreciate a lot, and I wanted to have the light pad in my box. Now, to work with the light pad, I'm using another instrument that is very useful. This instrument is Optivisor. So Optivisor is basically some loop that you have here that you can put on your head like that. You can adjust. You put the loop on your head, then you block. And then with that, you can shake a stone with free hand. You remove that on the top and you can discuss with people, with your customer, with your supplier, but you are all the time ready to check your stone. So to work with the loop, most of the professional buyers are using a torchlight. So the torchlight are here on the top. I try to put on the top the instrument that I will most of the time use every time. And the number one instrument I'm using will be this torchlight. This torchlight is a noble brand. It's made in Burma by a small family business. And this is the torchlight I'm using for the past 15 years. It's a great torchlight to check rubies. And with a powerful light, so I can check if I want, for example, have a few Greenlandic ruby here. I can check easily the clarity of a stone with my torchlight, and especially more easily using my Optivisor. So very, very convenient to check if there is any fracture, any inclusion, any cloud of particle, and evaluate if this piece of rough is worth buying if you want, for example, to cut a stone. So very useful. Second thing, I have not only one torchlight, but I have a second torchlight. The reason why I have a second torchlight is sometimes when you go to the field, you go with an assistant, and it's more easy to work with two people, so we can work as a team. The great thing about the second torchlight, which is a Gemax made by Sachi Gems, it's this torchlight has three different lighting. Number one, you have incandescent light. Number two, you have fluorescent light. And number three, you have a long wave UV light. So a very handy instrument, 3-in-1, rechargeable battery, charger is here. You don't have to buy batteries all the time. This is something that I like. Then when you deal with rough, you all the time, and you have sometimes a piece of rough, and there are some matrix associated with that. It's all the time very handy to have a good pair of pliers. So I like to have pliers in honor. Sometimes you have a parcel of rough which is a little bit too big, and you just want to keep what you want to keep. Pliers are all the time useful if you need to clip something out of a piece of rough. So I like to have my pliers. Of course, I have also some tweezers when you want to move things on your light pad on doing the grading. I have also here a stone holder that I put it too close to the to the wall. A stone holder that enables me to grab a stone, and if I want to take a photo, I can put the stone holder like that and take a photo of the stone without looking at my fingers. So that's a small handy instrument. Then, of course, when you're working with parcel of stone and you want to do your export, you want to know the weight of the parcel, and also, of course, when you want to buy, you want to check how many carats you have. So there is this scale, which is all the time useful to do your admin. A scale. This scale is a scale that enables me to weight until up to 200 gram. So this is useful for parcel. 200 gram is 1,000 carat. that cover quite a lot of things. You can notice that we have put this rope here in order to be able to get the instrument easily and also have the instrument not moving, which is good for security. There is a second scale here under. This one is a little bit different because number one, this is a precision scale that is good for 20 grams. So you can weight a stone individually for 20 grams. But the great thing about this scale is also you can use it as an hydrostatic balance. So you have the rest of the instrumentation here. You have a crucible that you can use also as an immersion cell. And you can put, for example, you put a stone here in water or in oil, and you can use the light pad to have some light coming from under. And you can check also the color zoning of a sapphire, for example. And then you can use it in order to weight your stone in water and in air and be able to determine the specific gravity of your stone. So this is the way, sorry, wrong side. Okay, install for, voila, okay, then, okay. Okay, and then there is one missing. Okay, this part is to be able to weight the stone in water and in the lower part, and to weight the stone also in air on the top part. So electronic scale, put water, weight the stone, determine the specific gravity, and you have the chart here in order if you don't remember all your specific gravity. So this is something quite handy if you have a stone that you want to try to identify specific gravity. You know, can be useful because a stone is not faceted. You don't have, you cannot take a refractive index, but at least, you know, you can take specific gravity, which is great. So, can put back the instrument here. One of the great things I like with this case is, of course, again, you can see everything has a place. So, it's very convenient to know that you are not forgetting anything because every space has to be filled with something. Last thing, you have here, of course, a weight, 20 grams, that enable you to check if your scale is correctly calibrated. Then after that, we have also here a gauge that enable, you know, to check the dimension of a stone. That is something also you may want to get when you are doing your admin in the evening. You want to check what are the dimension of a stone. There is, of course, a small you know, a tray because you want to move your stone on your light pad, and then you can put some sample if you want. Then on the lower part, we have also some classic gemological instrument, pocket one. Number one, you have a 10x loop. So this is great because this is a classic loop that gemologists are using. It's a black one. There is no internal reflection. It's a triplet loop. This is good to check the clarity of the stone, to check for inclusion, to check for surface features. And also, you know, I have my OptiVisor on the head. I have also a loop. So if I have an assistant, one can work with OptiVisor, the second one can work with the loop. There is a second type of loop that I have in this case, and this is a Darcy loop. A Darcy loop is a small instrument here that is great because I can use this loop in order to check a stone. For that, you need tweezers, and the light is not coming, you know, just from the back, but the light is coming from the side. I put the stone here, and then checking with my head here, I can have a vision of the clarity of the stone exactly the same as in a microscope. And actually, it's a pocket microscope, 10x magnification with dark field illumination. Very convenient instrument to check a stone, if a stone has a fracture, or to check also small faceted stone. For, you know, if you have the right knowledge with that instrument, you can find out if a stone is natural, synthetic, treated or not. Exactly the same as with the pocket microscope. Very useful instrument, one of my favorite for the past 20 years. So, put it back here. Then you have also here you have a Kelsey filter, which is just a filter that enables you to check if a stone has chromium, because it will remove all the other colors in the spectra except in the red. So you will see if a stone is fluorescing red with chromium. Then you have also here a dichroscope. that enable you to check if the stone is dichroic or not, and to identify the stone if the dichroism is specific to this type of stone. Very useful. And finally, a small spectroscope, which is also another instrument that enable you to identify some specific gem, either rough or faceted. So this is what we have. As you can see in the center, with the Optivisor, I can store all my battery charger, batteries, and things like that. I can make sure that I have everything. If I want to leave my place for working, I can just put everything back in a convenient way. Put back the light pad in its place. Right here, check that I have everything placed correctly. Then I put that back here. And last thing, as you can see here, there is this space for other things. And this space, I'm using it with, I have a block note, a pen, and I have also a reserve or business card. And I have here also my cassette box with my Ioni sticker. Ioni is a software that I'm using for my admin in order to be able to keep track of my stone from the day I buy them in the field. And then if I want to give them to a lab because the lab want to do some data collection, this software Ioni enable me to follow all the stone when I loan them to this person or that person, and I send them on memo to people. So with that, I can keep a good traceability of my sample, and I can do my admin much better. So this is the case. Now you have seen a little bit the type of instrument I need when I go to the field. And this case currently I will test it for the next 1 month and a half, and maybe we'll change a few things. We'll see if it's convenient or not. But this case should be, if there is demand, available for maybe we are going to produce more, and we are maybe able to sell them to people who are interested. We'll see that probably by the end of September. So I will try this prototype for the next 2 months, and then we'll see, and then maybe we will launch the production. So thanks to have listened, and well, maybe see you when one of these in the field with testing that field Gemology case. Goodbye.